So you're heading into a camp, and what you need is a strategy so that you're not burning yourself out, but you're also not falling behind by missing training while you're at the camp. So we're gonna go through exactly what you should do in the days leading up to the camp, how it differs if it's like a mini camp or a main camp or just a regular goalie camp. Let's just unpack it all so you know exactly what to do. So we've definitely been going through it with the goalies in the Turning Pro coaching program. It happens every year. It's sort of old hat, but feels like, you know, for every goalie that's trying to play at a high level, they go through 1 or 2 summers where it's just like camp after camp after camp. And the mistake that I see goalies make, and what brings a lot of them to the Turning Pro coaching program, is they don't really know how to work around that. So their whole off season kind of turns into gas or the break, gas or the break. And so they're, you know, if they have a mini camp, then they're not really doing anything. And then, you know, if it's a week when, and a lot of times they have them back-to-back weeks, if it's a week when they don't have it, then they're trying to go extra hard to make up for lost time. And that is a recipe for, I won't say failure, but it's a recipe for not achieving, you know, progress season after season. So what we want to do is make sure that there's a strategic approach and there's a formula, and it's a simple formula. I'm going to share it with you. It's actually starting to rain, so we will have a little change of plans here. We'll head into the office or we'll go head inside anyway and map it all out for you. I'll get a piece of paper and I'll draw a little sketch for you. All right, let's get inside. But before, this is super exciting. We've had these caterpillars came and they devastated my dill plant in the garden. But then I Googled it and it's like they turn into these swallowtail butterflies. So they're like, so if you see them, let them eat the dill. And so we had 6 caterpillars, and I see one of the butterflies has hatched. Do you see that? So that was your nature minute. Now we'll get back to goalie training stuff. So it depends a little bit what kind of camp we are talking about. Are we talking about a team camp, a mini camp, something like that? Something that goes Thursday to Sunday, let's say. And sometimes those are just like junior B camps. They're just sort of a scrimmage in the evening or afternoon. There might be like one goalie session and then scrimmages. So let's say this is for that type of camp. So we've got Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, and then the camp is Thursday to, let's just say, Sunday. If it ends Saturday, Sunday's a day off, rest, recover. So what should we do? Well, Monday and Tuesday, train as normal. If you're feeling a little bit, if you're feeling a little crushed because it's late in the season and you're just kind of feeling generally fatigued, which isn't a bad thing, but if you have that going to camp and it's maybe messing with your head a little bit, you could just do 2 sets of your strength, or knock 1 set off your strength, knock 1 set off your speed, knock 1 set off your stamina, just to make it a little bit lighter, but we're still training, we're still making progress. Then on Wednesday, it'll either be mobility only, or if you, because different people have different personalities, so some people are like, no, I really want to get in the gym, I don't want to miss a day, then we'll do 1 to 2 set lift. We won't do speed or stamina typically, more because I'm superstitious and I don't want you to like just turn your ankle or step in a gopher hole or something silly, you know, when we didn't really need to do that. Thursday through Sunday, you're going to do your mobility. So that's your mobility training. That's different from your warm-up and your cool-down. Plus you'll do your pre-skate, which is your warm-up. And plus you'll do your post-skate, which is a specific restorative module. So if you should know what those are. If you have a strength coach, ask them to give you a pre-skate and a post-skate restorative routine. The goalies in Turning Pro, we have those sorted out. So you'll do those. Pre-skate before you go on the ice. Your mobility is not your warm-up. Pre-skate before you go on the ice, post-skate as soon as you can when you come off the ice. I know it's not always easy. Then, depending a little bit on how you feel, what your situation is, if it is one of those camps where it's like, yeah, we had a goalie session on Thursday, Friday, Saturday, Sunday, maybe it's a scrimmage at, 6 o'clock at night or something like that. You could do sort of your 1 to 2 set lifts in the gym. Maybe, again, talk to your trainer. In turning pro, sometimes we modify the lift a little bit. But if you're feeling good, if your energy is good, and it just helps you stay in that rhythm, stay in a good mind space, then I like that. If we're not trying to do extra, if we had a bad outing, we're not trying to make up for it. It's just to kind of keep you in the rhythm. If you feel like, oh man, I don't want my legs to be tired, I'm kind of nervous, maybe it'll make me tired, then leave it out. Totally fine. So that's what we're gonna do, and it's a mini camp type of thing. Monday, Tuesday, train as normal. Unless you're really fatigued, then it's only gonna be, or you'll knock a set off, what you typically do. Wednesday, mobility only would be what we typically do, but if you wanna really just keep in the groove, then it's okay to do 1 to 2 set of your lift. Thursday through Sunday, you're gonna do mobility for sure, pre-skate warm-up, post-skate warm-up, and then an optional is 1 to 2 set of your lifts. One thing I forgot to put in here too is speed plus stamina. So speed or stamina training, no. For the reasons we already discussed. And we want your tank to be full for your scrimmages. So that is your mini camp. Let's say you're at a goalie camp, a week-long goalie camp, which is usually a bagger. Like you usually have at least 2 sessions on the ice. There will be a trainer or something running off ice, or a coach running off ice. Usually that is a bit of a nonsense bagger. You're gonna be on the go start to finish with lectures and all that kind of thing, and you're gonna be crushed. So how do we approach that? Glad you asked. These types of camps, you are not on your own schedule at all. It's one of the most challenging things about these types of camps. So we really focus on controlling what we can control and keeping you healthy through that camp. You may not have the opportunity to do your pre-skate warm-up before every on-ice session, because it's like, okay, we're done the workout, you guys are on the ice in 15 minutes, or even 30 minutes, and it doesn't give you enough time. But what you can control is getting up and doing your AM, so your pre-skate warm-up in the morning before the camp gets started. So whatever you have to do, and even though you're like, well, but Maria, I would have to do it at 8 o'clock in the morning and I'm not on the ice until 10. That doesn't make any sense. Technically, you're right. But what it does let you do is, remember the purpose of this pre-skate warm-up, and if you don't have one, you should. And if you need my help, you can drop a comment, let me know. But part of the purpose of this is almost like a spot check to see how do I feel. So, because this stays the same throughout the whole season, right? So like if I'm doing down back rotation, you know what your groins should feel like when you do that. If you're doing half groin T-spine rotation, you know what your thoracic spine usually feels like. So if you go and do it on Wednesday and it's like, whoa, my T-spine or my groins are so tight, you're gonna spend a little extra time doing some foam roll, lacrosse ball, a little extra stretching there, rather than finding that out once you get on the ice. So really, even though it's not ideal for a pre-skate, still do it. And do it before the day starts. If you can do it before any of your skates, go for it. But if all else fails, do it there. And then it's gonna be on like Donkey Kong, pretty much. You might get some camps like, oh, we give you an hour in the middle of the day, but it's basically like enough time maybe to go back to your dorm room or your hotel room, have a little snack, have a poop, and really get back to the rink. So there isn't a whole lot of time, but at some other point in the day, typically it's gonna be in the evening when the camp is finished, you're gonna do your post-skate restorative. So, and that is different from your pre-skate warm-up. So your post-skate is restorative. It's meant to help kind of reset your hips, your groins, your breathing, even your nervous system. So just kind of get you out of that fight and flight and bring you back into the recover and restore nervous system. Ideally, you would do this as soon as you come off the ice. Might not be possible, but as soon as you can, you're gonna do that at the end of the day. Then, and you could do I don't care when you do your mobility training. So that's your specific mobility routine that it's like your strength training, but it's your specific strength training that's for your mobility. And that should be, again, specifically designed for you. Then you're gonna do that at some point during the day. So that's part of your regular training program that your strength coach or your team has given you or I've given you. So you could do that early in the morning, you could do that at the lunchtime if there's time, or you could do that at the end of the day, kind of before heading off to bed. Whenever you have time and you feel the best. But and you know this if you're in one of my programs, but mobility training is not a warm-up. So don't do it as your warm-up, because that's not the purpose of it. You are not going to do strength, speed, stamina as a rule. Some of the goalies in the Turning Pro coaching program, they're at like a higher level or like a more kind of boutique type camp, prospect type camp. And the coaches, they aren't getting crushed every day. It's really about, let's just really work on technique and fine tuning things. Then I might give those guys lifts to do. Probably wouldn't give them stamina to do, might give them a short speed circuit to do. But typically if you're at just like, hey, it's a week-long camp, we're on the go all day long, I'm getting crushed, we're not gonna do any of those things. When the camp is over, and this goes for the mini camps as well, then Monday it's back at her. If you're just feeling crushed after this week of goalie camp, maybe then Monday is a lighter day, but unless if you're injured, then you need to take the day off and go see the physical therapist. But if you're not injured, then you're gonna do maybe use a little lighter loads to get back into the routine, but it's not a day off because you don't have the luxury of just taking random days off. We need to do that, use those strategically as we go. When you are at those week-long camps, your focus, so maybe we're not doing strength, speed, and stamina, but your focus is on what's gonna help you recover between days. That would be your hydration, your restorative modules, your nutrition, and your sleep. So that's what you're focusing your extra time and energy into. And part of that is being prepared. So make sure you have your camp day survival kit, that you have your water bottle, you have some electrolytes, you have some snacks. Even if the camp has food, maybe it's gonna be food that you don't like. So bring a snack just in case. Bring a peanut butter sandwich just in case you need it. Bring a towel, bring a yoga mat that you could roll up and kneel on if you're gonna be doing your mobility at the rink. Just think ahead, be prepared so that you don't have any excuses. So there's kind of two mistakes. One is people try to train as normal through a camp, which really adds a lot of overload, and sometimes that has the negative outcome, negative consequence. Or the goalies are like, oh, can't do any training this week, I got a camp, and that's not true either. So we wanna look at the training value of the camp, because there is a tremendous training value to the camp, but also make sure that we don't want to be burning out, but we also don't want to be falling behind. So finding that happy medium with the two different types of camps. When we make those smart, strategic adjustments, that's how we help you keep making progress without burning out or getting injured. So if that was helpful, if it kind of got you thinking a little bit like, oh yeah, these are things I never think of. And you really, if you're just playing hockey for fun and you just are out, like, hopefully everyone's playing for fun, but if you're not trying to achieve the highest level, or let me rephrase it, if you are trying to achieve the highest level, and then there is a time pressure, and if you don't have the time for trial and error, for guessing to see what might or might not work, then you should consider working with somebody who can customize things for you, can set up plans like this for you that are based on years and years of experience, so that it's proven. We're not guessing, okay, this is the problem, this is the solution. If you want me to be a part of that, that's totally fine, I'm happy to do that. Check out the link in the description to see how we can work together, what are some of the training programs I have. If it's not me, that's okay too, but find somebody who has experience getting goalies to where you want to be. The proof is in the pudding. I think that is it for the camps. Have a blast at camp. Listen to your body, be smart, talk to the coaches, get to know them, and I think that's it. I will catch you later. Same bad time, same bad channel. I love you guys.